What's up, family? Listen, welcome back. Today, we are interviewing one of North Carolina's finest mobile home investors, and we actually bringing her back. You definitely want to stay tuned so you can learn not only how she's been able to scale her business, but what really motivates her. And trust me, she's going to drop some gems, y'all. So, without further ado, listen, man, my name is Byron Sellers. I am one half of the Mobile Home Elite Investors, and we do these interviews just to highlight mobile home investors all across the country and see the good that they're doing, especially helping the affordable housing crisis. Now, if you're new to this, you definitely want to stay tuned. Trust me, you're going to learn a lot. Also, if you've been on the fence about getting started in mobile home investing, or you've been wanting to do it, or you haven't been able to find deals, trust me, when you watch this, you are going to learn some tips that will not only help you and help you on your journey to basically help people get affordable housing, at the same time get rewarded financially. So listen, without further ado, I want to bring up my guest, Miss Artina Marie. What's going on, Artina?
Hi, Byron.
Yes. Welcome back. Listen, thank you. It's great having you back. And I say back because, listen, the link will be above so you can watch her first episode she did with us. And so the last time we spoke, you was already making some waves in mobile homes a few years ago. So catch us up. Like, what's been happening, since we did our last interview?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much. I feel like that was what, 3 years ago?
I think
Three or
so.
four? I don't know. I didn't have any hair. That's all I remember. So oh my gosh, as I mentioned on the very first call, it has been such a blessing. Like totally changed my life. And I feel, first off, thank you, Byron, for even introducing all of this to me. Just being an amazing mentor. Like I may disappear sometime because I'm working and then I come back. But just knowing that I have him in my back pocket all these years, has made it easier because it's still scary. There's still some moments, that have been tough, but it really just changed the trajectory of my life. I'm still wholesaling. I'm still buying and hold. I've done a few seller financing. I've since wholesaled. I think I'm like 132 homes I've wholesaled.
Ooh.
Yeah, when I say wholesale. Yeah, with the ed. Is that a word?
Hey, listen, we're gonna make it one.
Either way, I've been helping some families out. I've been the solution to the problems, and I've been offering clean, safe, affordable housing. A lot of that has come from the same park, the very park that hung up in my face, the very park that was like, no, we don't allow investors, da 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 da. I've purchased like 6 homes in that park. I've done seller financing, maybe 3, and probably I'm at 68 homes. Yeah, 68 homes I've wholesaled. Now, that seems like a big number, but a lot of them I've wholesaled 3 and 4 times. So they purchased and then they've just reached out to me when they got ready to upgrade, and I wholesale that house, the same house over and over again. So, yeah.
Rinse and repeat. That's what I'm talking about. Like, man, listen. So that's dope because I mean, that's a lot, right? You said even the fact that even sometimes you was able to, like you said, like somebody may have moved out, you've been able to do it again, or that person may need help. Like when you look back at it, like from when you started versus now, what would you say has been the biggest growth for you as an investor?
The biggest growth has been my mindset. So coming in, I was already like in entrepreneurship. So I knew like, okay, proof of concept. I know it's not going to always be easy. I know about the compound effect. I know about creating habits, but it really is an emotional roller coaster, like an entrepreneurship roller coaster. And even if you're not just a full-on entrepreneur, just being in a space where you're out there making your own money, it's ebb and flows, right? Like you're going to have some high moments and some very, very low moments. And for me, there's been some low moments where I'm like, does this still work? Like, do the people really want these homes? Like, has things changed? But my mindset has shifted. Like, it doesn't matter where we are in the political climate. It doesn't matter rain, sleet, or snow. People are always going to be in need of affordable housing. Yes, I may have to change up my end strategy just a little bit. No, it may not come as fast, but the money is still going to come. I'm still going to help people. There's still people out there that are in desperate need of my help. That is not going to change. Like, and even more now than ever before, people are looking for the apartments are, yeah, the apartment leasing is sky high everywhere, even in the country. So my mindset has shifted, like, regardless of what it looks like, sometimes I just got to change my approach because the need is always going to be there.
That's good. That's good. And you know what you saying that, I mean, I was thinking like, and you said looking back at that first interview and seeing that, for one, yeah, like when I tell you in the community, like she's a rock star, right? Artina is a rock star, right? And very humble. You know, I call her she's a humble beast, right? Because she gonna get it done. She gonna encourage. And so, you know, since that interview, and I think that I'm pretty sure, you know, people that people have probably been like, how does it feel knowing that so many other mobile home investors, like just investors, look up to you in your journey?
I really just want to show people what's possible when you just lock in. Like, you get rid of the distractions, you limit who and what you expose yourself to, get very dialed in on why you are doing this and how much different your life could look like should it work. And it will work if you stick with it. And so, you know, I just feel like I call it my ministry. Like, I just want to be the example. I want somebody to wake up and say, well, based on her story, you know, she had a deal that fell through, but then she came back 10 times stronger. Based on her story, you know, she had this type of buyer, but look where she at now. So I love going in a group and sharing my wins, because it just takes, you know, just a few people to see themselves in me and say, okay, if she got it, she, you know, she has kids, a lot of children. She got kids, she got a lot, you know, going on. I have other businesses outside of this. And then just 3 months ago, I call it my passion project. I went back into law enforcement. And so now I can say I have a job, like a 9 to 5 job. I wasn't going to say a real job, because what we do is real. But
Yes.
I have a job, I have kids, I have other businesses, and I'm still making it happen because my why is so much bigger than my excuses, right? So that's what I would say. It feels good. I'm honored, but I really just share it because I really want to show people what it looks like when you just keep going.
Man, I love that. Like, I mean, honestly, like I love it because again, you inspire so many people, and it's so dope to see your journey. You know, as you even do it, and like you said, I mean, really to me, it's no excuses. You know, like you said, being a mom, being being in law enforcement, even having other business, and being able to balance that. You know, and the biggest thing I'm hearing from you is the why. Like that why is really helping you balance that and still even take time for yourself. Like before this interview, you know, she hit me like, "Hey, listen, you know, she was being that working with the trainer. Like I may be a little late." And so, you know, again, I gotta give you big ups because like that takes a lot. It's hard for some people to get up and go to the gym, let alone, you know, get into the business and everything like that. So I definitely want to salute you. That shows you, like you said, you just got to get it done. That's big right there.
And I would
So
like to add that my why has changed over the years. So my first why was I want to retire my mom. And what that meant was, you know, she don't really know about bills. My dad takes care of her. She's so spoiled. But
nice.
I wanted to make sure that when she retired, she didn't have any debt. She didn't have any credit card bills. She didn't owe nobody nothing. That was my first why. And on her birthday, I sat her down and I said, open this account, put in this number. She's like, what are you doing? Paid, paid, paid. Literally pay off everything so that once she retired, she actually retired and not have to rely on anything. And my dad didn't have to rely on anything, right?
Wow.
Then my why became, I want to get to a position where I can pay off my car, get my son a car, and he, you know, not have to worry about that going into adulthood, right? I have grown children. And so I did that. And
Wow.
then the next thing was, you know, law enforcement doesn't pay a lot. So I wanted to be able to afford to go back to work. I know that sounds crazy, but I was 8 years federal. And so now I'm in victim advocacy and I deal with victims of sexual assault, human trafficking, and domestic violence. It doesn't pay well, but I know it's what I'm really meant to do. So my why became, I want to make sure that I can afford to go back. Like I can actually going to here from this time and my businesses still run smoothly.
Wow.
Like I don't rely on my 9 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been since June. That's going great. Like I like it's going so well. It also gives me like a sense of balance and more structure, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you can say. Um and so yeah, it changes, but it's so important because if you're just out here dilly-dallying, the first little hiccup, you're gonna be like, well, I don't know if this is for me, or the next little shiny object that everybody on TikTok is talking about, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
run towards that thinking it's gonna be easier. But when you're solid on your why, you knowing that it's such a bigger purpose and it makes you work with a sense of urgency. So
Absolutely. Wow. I'm just listening. Like, it's funny, like you kind of reverse engineer because most people want to get away from the 9 to 5 to become full time. And a lot of times not realizing like you're going to work harder in your business than you probably worked in any 9 to 5 because and when when you look at your career, everything is already structured. You may be in a department. So if you're in marketing, then you still got you still got accounting over here. You got operations over here. When you run in the business, you are all of those things.
yeah.
So,
And it's crazy
again,
because when I walk into my job, it's the only time where I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can just kind of breathe. Like I
yeah,
can just kind of focus on one thing because I still do corporate leasing. So I
nice.
did turn my long-term rental into a mid-term.
Mm,
I still have several other Airbnbs that just kind of, do its own thing. But I don't know, when I walk into work, I can close some tabs
yeah.
versus when you working for yourself, you are like, always on.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Like you said, all and so that's something that again, like as I'm listening, I'm like that's cool. Like I heard you say like it gave me structure, and I'm like, wow, like I never heard that perspective, but that's a very good perspective, especially I think of anyone who's here. Again, if you ever question of oh how can I do this, with you being able to have that balance and like you said, looking at your career, saying like, okay, this gives me structure so I can operate my business how I want to
Yeah.
operate.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Definitely.
good. So I want to talk about the evolution, right? Because again, like I said, the first episode is going to be in the description, y'all, so that way you can kind of see early on in Artina's journey on how that was. But right, you've done a lot. You going from doing a lot of deals to now your business is running right, where it's
Mhm.
like a well-oiled machine, right? You like you said, you've been able to do things for your sons, your mom, and so, with that being said, like, what has changed mentally for you to do that?
What has changed mentally for me to do that? To be honest, like I say this very humble. I've always been a boss, right?
Let's
Like
go.
I've always been a go-getter, always known that I was meant for more. I know I did never shy away from hard work, and I like living a certain lifestyle.
Mhm,
Like I don't spend money on clothes, but I like to spend money on healthy food and healthy,
mhm,
products. Like, and right now with this economy, I just like I recognize that we're not in a good place, but I don't want to necessarily acknowledge it because it's just like I'm not going to be in that place. You
mhm,
know,
mhm.
obviously none of us are like how we were, back in
Yeah,
like 2021, 22.
right.
But it's all up to me to make sure that things don't change too much in my children's lives and then I'm able to do the things that bring me joy, which is not a lot. Like
Nice.
I want to be able to go get my matcha latte. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, go to the gym, not have to ever worry about bills. I want a vacation, not because it's a holiday. Like I just
Mhm.
want to go when I want to go. And when I do decide to get something, I want to just be able to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And I want to show my kids like it feels so good now that my kids can actually like verbally say, my youngest was like, "Mom, you're such a strong, independent woman." And
That's dope.
I said, okay. I said, well, mommy doesn't always want to be strong, but I do like what I do. And he said, well, I know. He was like, you really be doing your thing. And then my oldest, my bonus oldest, he's
Mhm.
in Cambodia right now. And
Nice.
he joined the Marines. But he follows me on TikTok and he messages me and he's like, Mom, you really doing your thing. Like I
That's
think
what's up.
I don't know anybody else that makes it happen like you. And then my
Wow.
18-year-old, he recognizes like, bro, you just drive around like you don't have a car note or insurance, but he also knows hard work too. He sees
Yeah.
me, so he makes sure everything is good in the house. He'll wake up an hour early just to make sure the dishwasher is loaded, like things that I don't have to do. So I'm like showing my kids, like, hey, and I share with them, like, the deal didn't go through, right?
Mm,
Or I'll say, I'm on the way to close. And then I walk to the door and they're like, and I'm like, and we celebrate because they know that they are affected by this win. You get Roblox, Fortnite, stuff like
let's
that.
go.
You'll learn about that later as your daughter gets older.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But my mindset has just been, regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of the political climate, regardless of, like,
Mhm.
there's always going to be something. There's never going to be a right time to go
Yeah.
harder or whatever. I've also recognized and been okay with, there are seasons of hustle,
Mhm.
and then there's going to be seasons where you just need to sit back and just, enjoy the fruits of your labor, but still just kind of not be in that place where you go, go, go. And then once you feel good and centered yourself,
Yeah.
then there's moments when you're like, okay, I got a vision board right here. You need to get your action goals. You need to
Yep.
reverse engineer. You need to get back to your personal development. And so my mindset is, I don't always have to be go, go, go for it to happen. If
Mhm.
I can just do the little things, like, there are big things, but then there are things that I know if I just compound and do it time and time and time again,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a snowball effect into something bigger. So even in those moments where I'm not hustling, I'm still dedicating at least 30 minutes a day. Like, I'm going to open up my computer and do something, because I know just those little things are going to just explode.
Yeah.
However, right now I'm in my grind season. I put out 52 bandit signs
Ooh,
the other day. I'm in my grind season. I told my kids I'm on the road to 60K. And
let's
he's like,
go.
well, you've done that. Okay, I'm doing it again.
I
So I
love
like to
it.
set these little challenges, little
Mhm.
mini challenges for myself. And then I relax,
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
your
I
question.
love it. I love it, man. Listen, if you watching this, I already know you probably got somebody on the edge of their seats. Like, wow. Like, I mean, just inspiring. And you drop so many like keys to, and again, simplifying it. Like you said, at minimum, you're gonna at least give 30 minutes a day. And I'm again, I know that whoever's going, you either rewind this or play back, because I want to ask. I got a lot of more questions to ask you, but you just dropped a lot right there, which is, again, it's so good. So I kind of want to ask you again now, and I guess I'll say, like, as far as the mobile home investing, what does that day to day look like now for you? Right, like, as far as I know, you just like you said, like the 52 bandit signs. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Like, and again, she dropped it in the community, showing us, like, listen, y'all. I mean, I got 15 more. Boom, finished up. You know what I mean? Like, showing
Yeah.
us the journey. So what does that day to day look like, as far, especially when wholesaling, whether it's in, acquisitions, or, if you find a disposition to finding your buyers, building like your team, like, what does that look like now for you?
So I always say the day starts the day before, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
on Sunday, I sit down and I kind of know what my week is going to look like. I know what my workout split is like. I know what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I'm meal prepping it on Monday.
Mhm.
I'm pretty structured. So I already know that on Fridays, I'm going to get my signs out. If for some reason something happens on Friday, and my kids know too, this is what I'm doing. In the event that changes, I'm going to get it done on Saturday.
Mhm.
Back in the day, if I didn't get it done on Friday, I used to be like, well, dang, I'll just wait till next week. But now I'm like, no, you have another day. And then I said, well, dang, I spent all day Saturday working in my yard. I love
Mm.
working in the yards. So I was like, well, dang, the day has passed. But I was like, no, it ain't. It's 12 o'clock. You
Right.
still got all day. And so I write it, like, you should see my note section in my phone. It's crazy because I brain dump at night right before I
Mhm.
go to bed, like everything that I'm thinking about. And then I say, okay, on Monday, this is what I have to do. So I label it like the things that I have to do and the things that I want to do, but it's not necessary. That way I go to bed feeling fulfilled, because back in the day, I would be running around and I would still go to bed feeling like I didn't do enough, right?
Mhm.
That would cause burnout. And I
Yes.
have been there. So now I'm like, maybe I didn't check off all 10 things, but the most important 4 things, even though it was just 4, they hold more weight than the other 6. So that's checked off, right? So I do that every single week. And then at night, I go back and it's kind of like a reward to see what I did. Now, this might, some people may feel like I'm doing a little too much, but, you know, I'm successful.
That's what I say. That's what greatness is. You got to sacrifice.
So I set alarms. So I have an alarm that tells my kids when to take a shower. I have an alarm that's like, hey, have you done this today? Because even when I'm at work, I have an alarm that tells me you need to get up and move. So I'll get up and walk around my building. I walk a whole mile because I try to get like 12K steps a day. Nice. So I have an alarm for that. So I'm just very structured. And because I have so many tabs in my brain and I can forget, I have just all these reminders, and then I have a calendar. And so what it looks like is on Mondays, I don't work on Mondays. So when I started my job, I was like, I need at least one day off. I can't like go from not working at a job for 10 years to now working Monday through Friday. I need one day off. So I'm off on Mondays, and I call that my mobile home Mondays.
I love it.
So that is where I am reaching out. I'm following up with people. More than likely, I have at least 2 homes under contract. So I'm following up with those people. I'm reaching back out to the part, not to see if they have anything always. Sometimes it's just to be like, hey, boo, it's Artina. I'll just call and check on you, and we just shoot, we talk for like 30, 45 minutes about nothing that has to do with mobile homes. But that was on my list to make sure I'm consistently building rapport with the people that's bringing me leads. So I make sure I'm doing that on Mondays. Also on Mondays, I'm creating my route for my drive on Friday or Saturday. So I'm going into realtor.com or Zillow. I'm typing in the county. I'm filtering it to mobile homes. And then the mobile homes that have sold or are up for sale, I get the address. I plug it into MapQuest because where there's one mobile home, there's zoned for other mobile homes. So I'm going to come across other ones. And I put that in my MapQuest, and then I do a round trip route where it has my address at the top and my address as the last stop. So that way I'm not like driving around everywhere. So I do that, and I know that's my route. And then I have a long route in case I don't have a lot of time. And then I have like short route if I don't have a lot of time. And then I have a longer one if time permits. So it's 2 different routes. And I do that on Monday. So I'm already ready for Friday. Okay. On Tuesdays, I'm preparing my bandit signs. So that's like out the way for Friday. So everything I'm doing is kind of preparing. Then on Wednesday, I'm kind of doing more Airbnb stuff, short-term rentals. And then on Thursdays, I don't do a whole lot. I just go into Marketplace, make sure I'm answering everyone's messages. I go into Craigslist, make sure nobody has messaged me back. I'm talking to people who are talking to me, but I'm not doing a whole lot. I don't do anything. I don't even work out on Thursdays. Well, I do like stretching and mobility stuff, but I don't like go in and go hard. It's just like an active rest day. And then on Thursdays, I may only get 10K steps in. Like I just don't do a whole lot on Thursday. And then on Friday is go time, right?
Yeah.
Fridays, I don't eat a meal prep. I go to Kava. I'm just very routine. Like it's my reward day. And then I'm getting suited up to go out there and put my signs up. I also close deals on Mondays. So all of my deals are closed on Mondays because that's my off day. And then I don't really do too much on Saturdays and Sundays because most of my showings are virtual. I try to have systems in place so my business can work when I'm not working. So when people are messaging me on Facebook, everything's copy and paste. And then I let them know, hey, in the event this doesn't work for you, please join my buyers list. Please join my sellers list. So they fill out a jot form. That way, when I get a home under contract, I can just play matchmaker. I go into the jot form, I filter it. Who's looking for this? This is what I have. And then I just gather all their emails up, and then I just send one email, but I have it where they receive it individually. So I try to like have those systems in place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Listen, if somebody when you watch somebody I guarantee you at least like 10 people gonna take that same routine. Like, I mean, that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
It's the blueprint. Like that is so well structured.
I know that was a very long answer, but
It works.
Yeah, it
It
works.
works. Like literally, like I'm listening to you, and again, you, like you said earlier, it's the compound interest. So doing those things every single week, you're going to get leads, right? And I think that sometimes I'll give you an example, right? I've seen like content or so, and they'd be like, "Oh, you don't need to bandit signs is old or this and that. You don't need to do." And it's just like what happens is everybody wants the easy button, right? So it's like, well, like I want to get AI, I want to go pay per leads and things like that. And it's like even all of that stuff is like it's marketing. So it's
Yeah.
like the more you do and the more you're putting out, and you know your market, you know what works for your market. And so that compound interest of being able to do that and steady people saying, like, because I'm gonna say real quick, I'm gonna give a quick example for the next question. I remember we had a mix and motivate in North Carolina, and the wife and I was like, you know what, let's go look at some mobile homes. We went outside in Charlotte, we found some mobile homes. I seen a bandit sign. I was like, let me call this person just to see. And guess whose bandit sign it was? It was Miss Artina's bandit sign, y'all. Again, we live in Chicago. We come to Charlotte in her city, and sure enough, it was her bandit sign that we called. Because I was like, let me see who. Let me. And I was curious. I'm like, because I see it. I'm like, let me see if this is somebody who came up through Mobile Home Elite. You know what I'm saying? Let me see.
Yeah.
And sure enough, and I'm just like, yo, that's when we knew. Like, me and my wife was like, wow, the impact is crazy. Like this God's work, we really do it because this is amazing. So,
And
and
one
shout
thing
you out again.
thank
Eh,
you. One thing I meant to add is that what I'm doing now that's kind of new is there will be a time where I don't necessarily drive to put out signs. I'm just driving for dollars and with my notepad, and I have Land Glide up. So I'm able to just put in the address and I can see the people's information. For those, I mail. I'll just, write something up, mail it out to them. I'm not even expecting them to get in contact with me,
Mhm.
but at least they know I'm interested. So I'll do that and I'll see what bandit signs are still up. So there
Mm.
are some signs that have been up for like a year. The
Wow.
sign is barely holding on, like it's nothing there. And I'll replace the sign. Then
Mm.
I'll have somewhere I'm like, dang, I just put the sign up a few days ago.
Yeah.
They didn't put it up. So now I know where to put my signs at. And then I have
Mhm.
kind of gotten familiar with um if the grass is cut, I know my sign gonna be up there for a hot minute. If the
Mm.
grass is too bushy, the city gonna come and then they're gonna take the sign down. And then I also have the
Mm.
signs that I tie up. And right
Yeah.
now, because there's a lot of voting going on, I
Mhm.
just I mix my signs up in there.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna take the sign down. But
Yep.
my last deal that I closed last week, she saw my bandit sign last February
Wow.
and wrote my number down. The deal before
Mm.
that, she said she saw it probably like a year ago. She can't remember, but she called and she left a message and she called every bandit sign that she had wrote down, and I was
Mm.
the only one that texted her and then followed up with a call. And she said she
Wow.
had like 8 numbers. Um,
Wow.
Now that used to be me. I used to put out all them signs. Then when the phone started ringing, I was so scared. I was like, "Oh Lord!" It say Charlotte Real Estate. I didn't forgot what Byron told me to say.
Running away from the money.
And then I would just wait, and then I'm like, "Okay, okay, T." Now it's easy, but there was a time where every time that phone rung, I'd be like, "Oh my God, somebody really calling! Somebody really calling me."
Yep, that
Um,
money was calling.
So
Hey,
now I'm
that,
just trying to adjust and see what's working, because sometimes, what may have worked last year may not necessarily work as well this year.
Mhm.
But when you're too quick to just stop that one thing and you can't really see what's working and what's not, right?
Mhm.
So I know that my yellow signs work better than my red, but my red
Mhm.
that's tied up work better than my yellow. Like just little
Mm.
things like that you learn over time.
Mhm.
You just really, and I'll ask them like, where did you find the sign? And I'll ask them what color was it? That way I can see what's, working well. And
Wow.
for my next what do you call it? Mail campaign, they're going like right now, I think I have one. Right now, my colors are green and orange because it's fall,
Mhm.
right? So they're more likely to open it up, but then in the wintertime, they're going to be red,
Mm.
and that's going to stay that way to February. So,
Makes sense.
just little things, trying to think like, someone who receives stuff like that.
Yep. That's good. That's real good. That's real. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, this is I mean, I love these interviews because it's showing your, again, not only your evolution but strategy, right?
Mhm.
You're giving so much good strategy for someone who is currently doing it to be able to upgrade it, or someone who's kind of on the fence to say, okay, you know what, like I just looked at Artina and I like the way that I'm structured, right? This is the way that I need to be structured. So I can take a lot from her. So that's pretty dope. I love it. So let me ask you this, right? Is there any like particular deal that you've done recently that's like tested you or kind of and at the end at least reminded you like, okay, I'm built for this?
Yes, I feel like every deal lately has made me feel like that. But it's only because you got to think about it. People's pockets aren't full like it used to be. And you got to kind of put yourself in their shoes because, yes, we want to help the seller and we also want to help ourselves.
Mhm.
But a lot of these people just are at a point where this is their last,
Mhm.
you know? So I had to really like take a step back and just like remind myself, like I'm always a human first.
Yeah.
I've been taught you need to be business first, but
Mhm.
what has worked in my business is to be human first.
Yeah.
Now I'm not letting nobody take advantage of me,
Mhm.
but these are other people, and how would I want somebody to treat my parents, or my sister or
Mhm.
something like that?
Yeah.
But this last deal, for whatever reason, the park manager lives in Tampa, somewhere near you, Byron. And so the tenants, they basically go to Walmart with a card and pay their rent. They've never
Wow.
seen this guy. He doesn't come and check. People have put fences up. People have added an extra room. But they will say that if something happens with the septic or something happens with the well water,
Yeah.
he gets it fixed.
Okay.
It's not like he's passed away and nobody knows where he's at. He
Right.
handles business, but he don't conversate. He don't go
Mhm.
back and forth. And the only thing he does is check to see if you're on the sex offenders list. That's
Mm.
it. So I'm trying to wholesale this home.
Mhm.
It's on land. It's on an acre of land, and the guy just would not answer the phone. So I like, okay, all right, ChatGPT, what we need to do.
Yes.
Because one thing I ain't never alone. I got you and I
Mhm.
got ChatGPT. So
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna figure it out. Um,
Absolutely.
so sometimes you'll have those. I have a few buyers that I worked with in the past, and I know what they're
Mhm.
looking for. But
Yeah.
they sometimes can be some fast talkers. And because they got money, they feel like they can just, act how they want to act and on their
Mhm.
schedule. So I basically had to choose between a family and an investor.
Mm.
And the family was dragging their feet. The investor wanted to make it harder than what it needed to be because he wanted to bring his lawyer in. The lawyer does single family. I'm trying to
Okay.
educate him and explain, like, this ain't no competition. I don't want to be a realtor. Like, I don't want to be a broker. Like, you're in your lane, I'm in mine.
Right.
I know what I'm doing. So then the seller, she's kind of getting antsy because she's like, well, what's going on? Because the investor, um, who spoke Spanish and my family spoke Spanish, he tried to tell them, let him buy it and then he'll rent it out to them.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So that was the first issue. Um, and then the family was like, I'm all in, but then her dad wanted to come in and feel like he know everything because he's bought homes before and da 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 da. He wants to know. I mean, stuff that just unnecessary. I'm like, sir, this is sold as is. I'm selling this for 10K. This is not a Clayton home. This
Right.
is 1986, bro. Like it is, you know,
Y'all doing too much.
everybody was doing too much. So I literally had to just go in and tell the investor I would feel more comfortable working with someone else because I just don't think this is the property for him.
Mm.
AKA you doing too much.
Hmm.
I'll find something else for you. And then with the family, I had to explain to them that I understand the dad is here to help, but the
Hmm.
dad doesn't know my job. So then I had to
Um,
explain that to the dad. And then I had to bring them and the seller together to kind of explain how things were going to go. But luckily, it panned out. But it was just so many people calling me, the lawyer calling me, the daddy calling me, the seller's daughter calling. And I'm like,
Headache.
yeah. But she wanted 6K.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up selling it for 11.5. And
Mm.
I end up even being able to give her an extra like $400.
Wow.
And now she wants me to help her sell her lawnmower and a generator. She told me to make money off it, do what I can. And so I'm gonna wholesale that.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's again, that's a bonus. Like you said, hey, wholesale it. Can you wholesale the
Yeah.
generator?
And I
Wholesale
never
like
got in contact with the park uh
wow.
owner. So I basically typed up a temporary acknowledgement agreement. So it's
Mhm.
like you acknowledge that this is how you pay it. You acknowledge we have not gotten in contact with the park. You acknowledge that if something happens under the home, this is your responsibility. You acknowledge that he pays the electricity for the well. Da 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 da
Mhm.
da.
Mm.
And then I sent a certified letter to the park managers telling him, "Hey, I've contacted you. We are moving forward. If I don't hear from you this day, we will proceed." And he didn't say nothing, but
Mm.
he got it in the mail. So
I love it. I mean, and it's good that you got that in writing because I remember that when we first came down here in Florida, we ran into an issue where the seller had confirmed that, oh, everything's fine, like there's some, you can just pay the lot rent and things like that. I talked to him, and we didn't do our proper due diligence to double, because we had been calling the park too to make sure we get an application and everything. So the seller had pretty much said that he talked to him, everything was fine. Yeah, they know who's moving in. They don't do applications, and we was kind of like, and that's the letter we should have drafted. Even though basically what happened was when they moved in, the park manager finally came out there and said, "Oh, we was gonna get rid of this house, and you got 15 days to leave." He was like, "Whoa, yeah, it's crazy." So we learned a big lesson on that one. Like
yeah,
normally we don't do that, but we were just like, "Yo, this was crazy.
yeah.
That
So
was
that
crazy."
was, I mean, I have so many. My very first wholesale deal, it was a 7K assignment. A realtor reached out to me to help her client.
Mhm.
She disappeared because she just got aggravated with it all. I continued to help. And then on the day of closing, we're ready. I got on my yellow because I'm like, this is my good luck color. This is my first deal. And he's ready. He got the check. He understands everything. I'm totally transparent. I let them know, hey, this is the number I'm going to give you. Do you care how much
Mhm.
I make? You don't? Okay, boom. Hey, I could purchase this home, but instead of purchasing it, I am assigning it to you. This is the amount. I got it at a discount for you.
Mm.
And I let the seller know I'm doing all this for free for
Mhm.
you. The buyer is paying me. I let the buyer
Yep.
know I found this for you at a discount. So this is what we're doing. So everybody knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Then, soon as we got to Chase, because I use Chase Notary, it looks more professional.
Mhm.
I have closed deal in Waffle House parking lot and at Walmart, but I try to go into Chase, and I've built a really good relationship with them. So now they know what I'm coming for. They don't be asking
Mhm.
a bunch of questions. And I've even taught them how to actually look at the title and know what to do. Because just because they're a notary don't mean they actually know what to do. So I try to
Right.
go to the same Chase. So we in there. I'm trying to build a relationship with them. This is my first closing there. And then her cousin comes in and he's like, telling her that he just don't feel comfortable with her selling home for this amount and I'm making this amount. Now, this lady done bought me a birthday gift. She invited me
Wow.
inside her house. She offered me food. I ain't take food, but she offered me
Right.
food. Like me and her didn't she called to see how my kid was doing when he was sick. And then he just comes out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden she can't speak English.
Mm.
I got in the car and boohooed like a baby. You
Mm.
would have thought I lost $3 million. I couldn't believe it because that money was spent, right? So
Mhm.
I needed it. But I called him. I apologized. I told him this is the first time this has ever happened. And it was, because it was my first deal.
Yeah.
But then I ended up finding a mobile home park, finding him a home, charging him a fee. He was okay with it, getting him a deal on a home that he would have never discovered, and then
Wow.
forming a relationship with that park. And they cut me a $1,000 referral for bringing a buyer into their community.
Wow.
And then I've done that a few times. So people call me, they're looking for really nice, almost brand new homes
Mm-hmm.
where they have a mortgage and everything. So then they just pay me a set amount, and then the park pays me for bringing them into the community. It's so many
Nice.
ways to make money doing this. Like,
So many.
you get creative, and it's just so many ways.
So many ways. No, that's and the beautiful thing, like you bounce back. Some people will quit. Like they'd have been like, no, this ain't it. Like that, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This is I can't do this. And that's the part, like you didn't took those and turned them into lessons to know
Oh, yeah.
what not to do. And so I want to pivot to talk about one of your favorite recent deals. What like how did you find that one?
Oh, so it was one of them days, and I was like, all right, Lord, I really don't feel like doing this. Like, I'm not in a good headspace. It's raining. It was in October, but I just remember it raining, and it was like hurricane season, and this was just last year. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put out 10 signs today. But then I went, got me a cup of coffee, had my praise and worship music on. I was
Hey.
like, I can do 10 more.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this spot where, let's just say you come to a dead end and you can only make a right or a left.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a sign right there. And I've passed by, I'm like, dang, that'd be a good place to put a sign.
Yeah.
The grass stays cut, like, but nobody's gonna jump in their car and like go through all this traffic to get over there. Cause that's another thing. It don't be no cars on the road when you get that sign out. As soon as you close the door, everybody looking like, what you
Yeah.
doing? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just park. I got a big mama. That's what I call her. I got a Yukon Denali. She a big mama. So most of
Yeah.
the time when I'm riding around, people think I'm the feds because I have so people are like looking, but I drove it on the side. I put my blinkers on. I'm talking about, it was pouring down raining. And the Lord was like, put the sign right there. So I was like, it's raining. You gonna make sure I get across here safe?
Yeah.
So I jet across the highway. I put the sign in. It goes in perfect. And I run back, and people are just like, cars stop for me to cross the road. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I'm soaking wet. So I was like, okay, I got like 3 or 4 more signs. So I put them up like I find the mobile home park. I don't put it right by the mobile home park, but there's an exit into the main road. So I go find the exits. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The main road. So I'm like, okay, if I go right here, I can put a sign there, and I can put a sign there. So I kind of like, you're gonna see this sign.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the next day, a lady calls me, and she says, we just purchased, I want to say it was like some crazy amount, like 20 acres of land. And we were driving through on our golf cart and saw that there was a mobile home back there.
Wow.
So the land, I can't explain it. Like, they're going to turn it into a wedding venue.
Okay.
And it had a mother-in-law suite. It had a farm. It had like 3 houses on it, like distance from each other, not side by side. And then if you keep going down the road, there was this 4-bedroom double wide home that they didn't even know. So they purchased all these acres for like $40K, and they were from Virginia.
Dang.
And they had not even seen the land. They just knew it could be a wedding venue.
Right.
So she said, I seen your sign right there at the intersection, the same place that I told you the sign would go. And she said, we don't know what to do with this thing. She was just making it sound like it was a barn house. Like,
yeah,
barn houses are nice too. She was making it sound like it was like this shack. And she was like, and it has wheels. It, like, I looked it up, and it's a mobile home. Like, it can have wheels. And she was like, we don't want that on the property. We don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, the way she explained it to him, like, Lord, I'm gonna have to tell her she's gonna have to demolish it because it's not a good home.
Yeah.
I get back there, and she said, I hadn't even been in it. I'm like, okay, beautiful. I think they were rehabbing it, and maybe
Yeah.
they lost it. They couldn't pay the taxes or something, but they were rehabbing it. The floors were nice. The kitchen was beautiful. It had 2 living rooms.
Oh wow.
I wanted to pull it to my daddy house. It was so
Right.
nice. It was nice, Byron. So I'm like,
Wow.
either she don't know the value, or now she's walked in and realized this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
But she walked in and she was just like, I'll give it to you for 30.
Okay.
I said, she said, I don't want the furniture. The furniture can go with it.
Mm.
I called my dad. I was like, how can we get this house to Jackson? That's
Yeah.
Aiken, South Carolina. How can we get this house to South Carolina? And it was in Newton. It was in Newton,
Okay.
North Carolina. And I said 30. And she said, that's all I want for it. She said, because that's how much she owed her contractors who's doing, that's the exact number she owes her contractors or whatever.
Mm.
And I said, okay. And her daughter was like, you think somebody going to pay 30 for this?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know. She said, well, if you can get 25, I'll take 25. So I was like, I ain't gonna do them like that, right?
Yeah. Right. Shout out the daughter though.
Yeah. So I said, I don't like to say the word contract because people hear that word, they're like, contract, I need to have my lawyer look over that. So I
Yep.
said, well, let's sign this agreement.
Yep.
Because it protects you, it protects me. This is saying that if I put time into this, you're not gonna market it somewhere else. And I just told her, I said, I had every intention of coming to look at this home to possibly purchase it for myself, but due to the size, I don't have a lot big enough to even pull it on. But what I do have is a list of other buyers who are looking for this type of home. I'll pretty much handle the process. It'll be a smooth process. I'll make sure the title application is notarized. I'll make sure the title is signed and notarized. I'll make sure it gets transferred to the DMV. I'll give them a list of movers. And I'll just keep you up to date. There's really not much you need to do. Just providing value. And I said, now, she said, well, how much do I owe you? I said, now, if you want to pay me, you can. We laughed.
Yeah.
I said, however, the buyer will pay me. And she was like, you would do it for free? And I said, well, I ain't doing it for free, but it's no cost to you.
Yeah.
And she said, well, why would you do that? I said, because you called me. And since I don't have anywhere to pull it, the least I can do is help you get it sold. So that's one less thing you have to worry about. She said, well, I need it done by this date because we're having a wedding. We're still building, and I want to put something here. I want to build a house here. So I knew her pain point was time.
Yep.
But it didn't matter because she already came way lower.
Yep.
And what I usually do is they'll say, what's the least amount you will take? And I said, what's the most amount you offer? That's my little line. So what's the least amount you'll take? What's the most you want to offer?
Yeah.
So I was already prepared for her and I to go back and forth, and I'll stare you down. Like, it has gotten uncomfortable sometimes because they'll be like, what's your number? And I said, it just depends on what you think. And then we just be looking at each other.
Yeah.
And people don't like that. And they'll say, well, and then they'll give a number. And then I'll still be silent. And I'm like, oh, they're like, okay, well, I can do this. Now, I would have accepted the first number.
Yeah, but you still like, yeah.
I don't know why that worked, but it's like, okay, well, what about this number? And I'm like, I can go with that. But she had already got to 30. Sorry, this story is so long. So I'm like, okay, boom. She signs the agreement. I take pictures and I said, so this is how it will work. I'll be respectful of your time. We can either put a lockbox on the door and I just send people out there. I'll get a copy of their license first so I'll know who's going to the house. I'll call them on FaceTime. That's called a virtual showing. The second option is I'm not able to show the home as much because then I'll have to schedule a time for me to drive down here. And that's probably one day out of the week, maybe one every 2 weeks. Do you want a lot of buyers to come so we can quickly get it sold? So I give them options. Because if I just say, can we put without explaining it, like, well, I don't know who's coming, but I'm letting them know ahead of time. No, I'll have the license, I said, well, I like that option better. Boom. So now I ain't got to come back out here. It's a virtual showing. So literally I priced it for like 46. I ain't get to, I could have did a lot.
Yeah.
I could have did a lot. So but with that mindset, the Lord just keep blessing me even bigger because I ain't out here trying to like you know, get over. And not to say had I increased the amount, I would have been getting over. But do I really need to make 20K off this when they just want this amount?
Right.
Now it's been times where I needed that money, so
Yeah.
I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So this family came and they were like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. We don't um have the money, but our daughter has cancer and we're working with the cancer facility and they're gonna give us an amount.
Oh, wow.
So how much you got it listed for 40? It was listed for 42. Sorry,
Okay.
42.5. They was like, we'll do the 42.5. I met with the cancer representative. She cut me a check the next day for
Wow.
42.5.
Wow. That's a new one. I haven't.
Yeah, she
Wow.
lived in Charlotte. Me and her hit it off. And then I took her out to breakfast. We went to a place called Easy Like Sunday Morning. I
Nice.
took her out to breakfast, and she was just sharing their story, and we just really bonded. She ain't asked for my license. She ain't asked for
Wow.
no website because people get caught up on they need all these things,
Hmm.
but you present you the business. I
Yep.
don't have nothing with no name tag. I just showed up with a smile, let her know, hey, I have been doing this. It was a pleasure, da, da, da. And we walked in Chase and she cut the check. And then I asked her, was
Wow.
she hungry? Did she want to get coffee? And we went and had breakfast.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's an amazing story. I mean, even from the beginning, like you said, just listening to God said, listen, put this sign here, to doing it in the rain, to getting a call. First of all, somebody bought 20 acres, didn't see the value in a double wide. Double wide was immaculate. Uh, From man, wow. That
I would
is
have lived there. It was so nice. It was so
wow.
nice. So they definitely got it at a discount. And she didn't care about the
Absolutely.
money. She just wanted it off her land. She was like, I can't have this here. Like, I'm going to have people coming. This needs to be gone.
Wow.
Say
That
less.
is that's
Yeah,
incredible.
that was
That
my
is
favorite deal. That happened October 10th, 2024.
wow. That's incredible. Like that's that right there is that's a very powerful deal, like story, even just story in general. Like that is
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So
And then
man, okay.
I made 10K because I took the extra and I gave it back to the buyer because they had been staying in a hotel and taking their daughter to treatments. So I was like, until the home can be moved, use this for your hotel. And and they were like, well, what about? I'm like, nope, use this. Because I just went in saying, Lord, I want a 10K deal. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I asked for.
Mm,
So then what was left, the 2000 was like 2,500 was
mhm.
like, you guys can take that, pay for your hotel until you're able
Wow.
to move it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That is,
Yeah.
listen, truly God's work, and just tying your purpose into that. That is an amazing, yeah, that
That
is. I
felt
mean, if
so
you listen,
good.
yeah, I can imagine. I mean, just even, it was a win-win for everybody,
Yeah.
like for example, the lady who went off her land, boom, you got it done for her. Then you talking about, like you said, just the outcome for them to have this beautiful house, the cancer research department they paid for, and then yeah, you got rewarded financially. And then even then, like you said, you didn't use like this is the number I wanted, and then gave access to the hotel. Like, come on now, like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That felt good.
That is amazing. So, Artina, my question to you is being one of the women or woman in this business, you really making noise in this space. And shout out to all the ladies in this space that's doing big things. What does that mean to you being like a leader in this space?
I've always like I'm girly, but I've always done the opposite thing. Like in band, they wanted me to play the clarinet and I played the trombone. Fun fact, I walked in the Macy's parade with the trombone.
Wow.
But I did
Wow.
the trombone. I modeled all through high school, but then I did Indra TC. And then I went into law enforcement. So I've always just found myself in these male dominated roles. I don't know
Hmm.
why. So this is no different. And so
Nice.
I feel like when you are doing anything, in anything that you're putting yourself into and you are the minority, that's your superpower, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that stands out. They can say, oh, the girl, I'm pretty tall too. So like the tall girl or this,
Yeah.
like, I'm not like everybody else. I try to go to different REIs, different meetups that they have in
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte that doesn't even have to do with mobile homes. So I want people to know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have I think Charlotte buyers, CLT buyers, they usually have something at a restaurant. I'm there and they're like, what do you do? Buy and sell mobile homes. Mobile
Nice.
homes,
Yep.
yeah. And so they're going to remember me, but I went to Clayton Homes and I have a working relationship with them. So basically, when someone purchases a home from them, they make them an offer on their old home, which is little to nothing. So they
Mm-hmm.
say, well, no. And then that's where I come in. They say, well, we have somebody else that can help you. And so then I will come in, wholesale their old home. And then
Nice.
the Clayton home man, he's like the land guy that goes and do the land packages. I
Mm-hmm.
give him a referral. So
Wow.
he sends the deals to me whenever there's an old home, because if not, sometimes it goes to like this parking lot and they don't
Mm-hmm.
try to fix it. They don't try to sell them. They
Yeah.
don't try to do anything. So I've,
Mm-hmm.
wholesale some homes then. And I had a guy to ask me, he's like, I don't know a lot of women in this space. And I was like, and that's why I'm in here because, we can do the same things you can do. And I use it to
Mm-hmm.
my advantage, like
Nice.
just sometimes you'll have men where they try to overtalk you, or I call it mansplaining, where they gotta like act like you don't know nothing. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like I don't know. And then I just hit them with the actually do know.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do. Some people can be intimidated by that. Those aren't my people. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
here to like be best friends with you anyway. This is business.
Yep.
But I use it to my advantage. And then when I'm talking to women, one woman said she didn't feel comfortable with men coming into her home or a man coming in and walking from room to room.
Yeah.
So I automatically start building rapport with women. If
Yeah.
there is a man, I'll say, do you have a daughter or
Mm-hmm.
whatever? I start building rapport with them. So I just try to use it as my superpower.
That's good.
Is
That's
that what
real
you're
good.
asking me?
Yeah, no, no, like no, that's great. That I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
because that kind of to my next question of like, what advice would you have for a woman who may feel nervous about getting into this industry?
I would say ask yourself first, what is that? Because a lot of it is limiting beliefs. We create these scenarios in our head that don't exist, or these what if scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always challenge anybody, male or female. You think, well, what if this goes wrong? But what if it doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but what if I can't? But what if you can? Like,
Yeah.
think about what if it can? Like, what if you actually, what will an extra $2,500 do for you multiple times each month? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how much weight would that lift? Who will you be able to bless? How will you be able to
Yeah.
bless your family? What if it works out?
Yes.
And so with women, those limited beliefs you have, like, well, I'm a woman, they may take me serious, but what if they bond with you better because you're a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of placing so much focus on the negative or the thing that goes against you, take all that energy and put it into, what, I'm a woman. When I walk into the room, I'm going to, demand respect. I'm going to set boundaries. People are going to respect me. And because I'm a woman, I stand out. So that would be my advice. Just whatever that limiting belief is that you're thinking, reverse that into, but what if, and because I'm a woman, this actually may work better. This may actually work in my favor.
Nice. Nice. That's good. That's real good. I definitely love that. So, again, second time back. I mean, like I said, I think this interview should be almost like a part two, part three series because you've done so much in this industry, just making waves. And what would you say the next big move for you, right? Whether it's expansions, a partnership, parks, like what does that look like for you?
So I'm currently back and forth placing a bid on a home,
Nice.
a mobile home on land from a tax deed auction. And so now I'm trying to make my money work for me
Mhm.
because, while I still have it in me to hustle, 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 there are other things that I just are more important for me, and that's time. Like
Yeah.
time with my family, time to just dilly dally and do the things that bring me joy.
Mhm.
And you need money sometimes to do those things. They're not free. So I'm trying to go more into like a passive route. I know it's not
Mhm.
going to be 100% passive, but I would love to take advantage of tax deed auctions with tenants already in place so
Mm.
that I can collect lot rent and still have that land to do whatever I want to do with it.
Nice.
Um, my biggest goal is, and I say this, I be driving around for dollars and I'm like, I want to buy land with a
Mhm.
small mobile home on it so I can add 4 more,
Mm,
right?
I love it.
And I can either rent them out, I can have pads where people bring their mobile homes on and rent the land from me.
Mhm.
I could find a mobile home on land, sell that mobile home, use that profit to pull in a nicer mobile home and do a land package. I can start, finding mobile home approved land spaces and work with Clayton or Freeman to say, hey, I
Mhm.
found the land, cut me a check.
Yep.
So it's like on a bigger scale. Um, and then my biggest goal right now is if I win the bid on that home, one of the options I have is to fix it up and then actually sell it with a realtor
Mhm.
because a lot of mobile homes are being sold as single family. I just have to detitle
Mhm.
it. So instead of it being personal property where there's land taxes and then you have personal taxes and the title is still on the home, you detitle it where there's no longer a title and it sits on a parcel of land. So now the comps run just like a single family home. And
Mhm.
so if the area is zoned for it and there's tons of mobile home, I don't see where in the future that zoning would change.
Mhm.
And so I'll be, more likely to sell that on MLS. Because while we're in a what do they call it, a buyer's market, like
Yeah.
while there's so many homes available, people can't afford those homes.
Mhm. That's
So
very
if
true.
you have a 4-bedroom mobile home on a nice, quiet, peaceful plot of land. See, I'm already like figuring out what my description going to be.
Yep.
Um, Even if I don't go that route, I can always pull another one behind it and just rent out both of them, or
Yeah.
split the land in half and sell too. So it's
Mhm.
just so many options.
Yeah, definitely.
Want to do so much.
Listen, that's the beautiful thing about this, right? It's like a mobile home is almost still like a blank canvas. So you can create it how big you want it, like it's so much you can do with it. And like you can vertically integrate all within leveraging mobile homes. So
Yeah,
now that is so cool. So
yeah.
if somebody's watching this, an aspiring mobile home investor, what message would you leave them?
Do it scared. A lot of times you know what to do. It's just something holding you back, or you just feel like you need more information and you get analysis paralysis where you have all the knowledge, but you don't actually put it into action. So you go nowhere fast. And so I would say get a mentor, get with somebody, get with Byron, get with me because I've said that I'm a start stepping into that space as well,
Yeah.
Byron.
Yeah.
So get with someone that way you know that if you jump in the water, you have a life vest, right? You have somebody you can call on. Get
Mhm.
into spaces, take a look at the space you're in now. Who's doing what? Are they doing what you want to do? No, okay, well then you need to get into another space.
Mhm.
Always be learning, always be a student. There's so much information on YouTube. I still, even years in the game, will go into our group, our mentorship group, and look
Mhm.
at past videos. And I even tell Byron, man, I'm listening to this video while putting up bandit signs. When was this? Like,
Yeah.
just to kind of hype myself up, to learn new ways of doing things, to perfect what I'm already doing. But
Mhm.
get into spaces where people are doing what you are wanting to do so you can learn from them. You can give value because you have more value than you think.
Yes.
Like, you probably bring something to the table that's not necessarily mobile home related, but
Mhm.
they're like skills that can come over into this space. And you can provide that to someone to say, hey, I know how to do this. I'm good at this.
Absolutely.
How can I help you? And then you help me.
Mhm.
So that's what a good JV deal is. Like, you're
Yep.
bringing value, they're bringing value, and you can go so far with other people. When you try
Yeah.
to do it all on your own, it's harder. And when you try
Mhm.
to do it by yourself without having mentorship or having a coach, you setting yourself up for, yes, you could be successful, but I don't know, like when you have a mentor, all the things that they've done that they did it wrong, they didn't did it for you. So now they're saying, I didn't did all the hard stuff. This is how you should do it because this is what's worked for me instead of
Yeah.
you trying to do it on your own. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then another thing is that when you're trying to level up, be careful who you let know what you're trying to do.
Mm,
Because when you surround yourself with small-minded people or people who have yet to achieve their goals, they can bring you down. Or
mhm,
because they love you, they can come from a place of protection that's really
mhm.
just hindering you. Because
Yep.
I remember sharing what I wanted to do, and somebody say, "Well, I heard mobile homes, they go down in value." Oh, I
Mhm,
heard this. Like, had I listened to that, I wouldn't be where I am now. I just
mhm,
took it with a grain of salt and was like, "Oh, okay." But I've seen the proof of concept, and if she can do it and he can do it, why can't I do it? So just
mhm.
be careful with, limiting who you share all your ideas with. Because if you miss and share it with the wrong person, they'll cloud your mind up, and then you go in thinking this may not be for me when God had already told you this is
Mhm.
what you need to be doing. And just
Ooh,
give it time to work, right? Don't be
yep.
it's a lot of people that need this instant gratification. Like they need it to happen tomorrow. It should have happened
Mhm.
yesterday. But anything that's really truly worth having, something that's going to be long term, it's going to take time.
Facts.
It's going to take time, but you got this.
Hey, let's go. Facts, facts. I love the fact you said people listen to the I heard. And one thing about when you start listening to I heard, you start falling into that herd that go the other way. So don't don't be that sheep fall into that herd, right?
Yes.
Take it from proven people. Man, listen,
Mhm.
Artina, this interview has been incredible. Thank you for coming back. It's been just amazing to see your journey, to see how, again, how active you are in the community, helping, leading, and it just really proved that consistency pays off. Like that's what I really see, like you being consistent. And it really I love about mindset. Artina, actually, what books you read? Hey, this is a book that I'm reading. Like
Oh yeah.
really just being organized and just man, listen, falling in love with the game and just just going all out in it. So for one, I want to know where can they, and we're going to put this in the description, how can they follow your journey? How can they tap in with you? Like what, yeah, like let them know there so we can
Yes.
come find.
So my pages got hacked and I
Oh
had to
man.
change everything. But everywhere I'm Artina Marie. But I just thought about last night. I was like, if I had to brand myself, I think it would be Deals and Doors by Artina
Mm,
Marie. Because
okay.
I've been doing the short term leasing space for a while, and I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about that. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty knowledgeable about closing these wholesale deals. And so eventually I'm going to change it over where it's Deals and Doors by Artina,
I
and I'm
love
gonna
it.
be like offering like just some one-on-one calls because so many people want to like pick my brain, but I'm like,
Mhm.
y'all, I didn't. I want to help you, but
Yeah,
I've,
time is money.
yeah, and I've shared stuff with people and they did absolutely nothing. Now I'm upset because I can see where they could have went with it, and now their goals become mine. And I'm like,
Mhm.
but you said you wanted to do this, and then you just stopped. So I'm just got to remove myself from that. And so I said I was going to offer one-on-one calls with people. I'm going to probably start doing some Zoom stuff and like offering the replay.
Nice,
But more than likely, it's going to be deals and doors. I said I was going to talk to my mom and dad about it. They're the people I
nice,
kind of like brain dump all my information on. But yeah,
nice.
so Artina Marie. And then sometime in the near future, look out for Deals and Doors by Artina.
Hey, speaking into existence,
You like
deals
that,
and doors,
Byron?
deals and doors. Let's go, let's go. We got to bring you back so you can, you know what I'm saying? Let them know
Yeah.
about deals and doors.
Yes. Yes. I
Let's
have so
go.
much to share, and everyone keeps saying, "Where is the ebook? When are you going to do this?" And I'm like, I just haven't been called to do it. Like I just get on the phone with me. I'll just share what I know. But now, I do have one student. I don't like to call him a student, but
Yeah.
it's just someone I connected with. Hey Chase, I connected with, and he has just hit the ground running. Like
Let's go.
he's basically a me. He just go 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 go. And so I think that's going to be like my next step is like choosing certain people I can pour into and not being attached to their work and outcome because I want everybody to win. So
I love it. I love it. Listen, man, good
you know how
stuff.
that is, Byron.
Trust me. Trust me. It takes a
They don't know
lot of
about the
patience.
Byron in all black.
Oh man, listen, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they might be getting this real soon because, but that's another story. But no, again, like
Yeah.
honestly, I thank you for just really, being a staple inside of the community. And if you want to find Artina in the community, join the Elite Squad. Links below. Definitely look out, for everything Artina's doing. And honestly, listen, like if you watching this, I hope this set you on fire. I hope it at least
Me
gave you the
too.
spark that you needed. So you can start where you are, start with what you have, and literally, like, again, the next success story is yours, right? And so, Artina, I truly thank you again for
Ah, thank
coming on
you,
here.
Byron.
Yes, anytime, for sharing. This has been just literally just so packed with value. I mean, just the story and what, again, the transition. So, they got a lot of time to spend with you because they get to watch the first episode and then they get to watch
Yes.
this episode.
And I'm
I'm
still even just still excited about it all. Like I just be like, thank you, Lord. Like when I first heard you on what was the thing that we used to that you guys used to come on? Uh
uh let's see.
oh God.
Was it us or no somebody else's?
Oh no, it was you. It was everybody would be on these late night like this
Oh,
app and everybody get into the room.
oh, Clubhouse?
Clubhouse.
Yes.
Cause I remember seeing y'all and then on Clubhouse it was like Christmas, it was Christmas weekend. I was like, oh, I gotta do this. I've been tapped in ever since. I was like, oh, this gonna be good.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Nah, you've been killing it. Keep on doing what you're doing. Again, thank you so much. Listen, y'all, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and like and share this channel. We truly, truly appreciate y'all. And stay tuned for the next one to see more what Artina is doing and many others who have been literally just came into this industry, made a huge wave, hearing their story. And again, you're the next success story. Let's continue to help affordable housing. Let's do some big things. God bless y'all. Let's get it.
Yay.